Hi and welcome to today's composting video. Today we're looking at wormeries, and I've got a wormery that I'm going to show you in just a minute. So what is a wormery? It's a container in which worms live and they're fed on your food scraps. So what food can you feed them? Well, I've got a few examples here. So banana skins and banana flesh actually, if you wanted to. Vegetable scraps, so this is a lettuce, base of a lettuce, and tea and coffee, so that's a tea bag there. So tea, coffee, vegetable scraps, fruit scraps, peels, and any sort of cores, or like an apple core, vegetable peelings, that kind of thing. So you want to keep it kind of fairly bland for them. Things to avoid: you want to avoid too much citrus, or really any citrus at all. I mean, if a little bit of peel sneaks in, it's not the end of the world, but really you don't want to be feeding them citrus. They can't ingest it very well. So avoid citrus within your worm feeder. And bread, so any kind of bread you want to avoid feeding to the worms. They just can't consume it and break it down. So there's a few do's and don'ts. So keep it quite straightforward: fruit and veg peelings, tea and coffee, and not too much of one thing. So try and keep quite a nice balance. And you feed them really every couple of days, 2 to 3 days, depending on how much you're producing in waste. But it's a great way of dealing with food waste, and the worms do their job. And the worm wee counts as a really strong and nutrient-rich liquid fertiliser. So you can use that then diluted as a liquid fertiliser for your plants. And the worm poo, which is called the castings, is used for part of your compost. So again, it's just really rich. So you'd either mix it in with your compost, or you would mix it in with some soil for mulching on top of your beds. So again, it's really rich in nutrients, so you don't need very much. So you would need to dilute it and mix it down just like the liquid fertiliser. So I'm going to show you the wormery now and talk you through how it works. Here is my wormery. I'm just about to get it started. We've just relocated, so it's empty at the moment, but we're going to get some worms very soon. So the lid lifts off, and then you've got a series of trays. So this is one tray, and it lifts off like that, so you can see general thickness. And the trays stack, so you'd probably have 2-3 trays stacked. And then the worms can travel through the trays, through these holes in the bottom, and the liquid fertiliser seeps through. And I'm going to show you the bottom in a second. So this is a coir brick, which is coconut husk, and that is used as a starter. So when you start the worms off, you soak that in water, and that gives them a starter for somewhere to bed in before they've consumed much of the food waste and have a habitat to live in. So then at the bottom of your trays, this is the base here, and this is a filter. So that's just a thin sheet, and that basically filters down, so it filters out the castings, the poo, but it lets the liquid through. And here is the tap for the liquid, so you can take the liquid out periodically to add it to your liquid fertiliser stash. And then you take the castings out as well, but you take that out of each tray. And then you basically feed them every 2 to 3 days. You can also get these sheets. So these just sit on top of each tray, and that just helps keep the worms insulated and warm. And in the winter, you don't want them to get too cold, and in the summer, you don't want them to get too hot. So it's just striking a balance. So this is a plastic wormery, and I would much rather have a wooden one, but there just aren't many on the market. But this one's going to live indoors, either in the garage or in the office, because then that's just a way to regulate the temperature. So we hope that that's inspired you to think about keeping worms. And if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. And don't forget, we can help you with your own composting system. See you soon.